Moving on past the video straight to our introductions. We've got Melissa, we've got Peggy, and we got Natasha. These are our programs that we're looking at today: social and human services, applied behavioral science, and early childhood education. Peggy, I'm going to throw it to you.
Thank you, Nick. I appreciate it. It's so nice to see so many of you here. I know we're running behind, so I'm going to go as quickly as I can. Can we go to the next slide? Okay, so this is a quick overview of our program. We have an AST in social and human services, which is a very dynamic and wonderful field to be in. I'm a full-time tenured faculty member, but I spent many years as a community-based social and human services worker. You can complete your degree in full-time for 6 quarters, part-time, depending on what you choose, 7+ quarters. We are both in-person and virtual hybrid. So some of our courses are on Zoom and some are in person. We start in fall. Class size is 30 or less students. You can start our program with a high school diploma or a GED. And we are Seattle Central, but our classes are held at the Health Education Center. And if you look at Jen Clark's, you can see that beautiful building up on Beacon Hill. And I encourage those people that are interested to come to the open house so you can see where we live. What a beautiful place we have for our classes. Next slide, please. So in social and human services, we have some options for you. We have our AST and generalist human services. You also have the option of taking a chemical dependency certificate, which allows you to work in the field of addiction. And we also have a care navigation and coordination certificate, which is a 10-credit certificate. And that allows you to work in care coordination, which is both healthcare and human services. We work on a foundation of social justice in our program. There's a lot of things that you will study far beyond what's listed here, including mental health, diversity, counseling, crisis management, grief and loss. We have a really wide variety of courses that you take, and I'll try to attach that into the chat here today also. We also have what's called a guaranteed admissions program into the Bachelor of Applied Science program. And Melissa Martinez is going to talk a little bit more about that when she presents. And we have all of our faculty members have all been community-based practitioners at one point. And we also have part-time instructors that are also currently in the field. So you're getting real relevant information from your faculty. Next slide, please. We do have field practicums, also known as internships. And our students often go directly into jobs in those internships. They have to do 220 hours in the field, and that's really where you get your feet wet. It's a wonderful opportunity for students. And really, there are so many opportunities. It's a fast-growing field. You can work in, so many different places, from family services to corrections, social justice, policy, community development, mental health. Many of our students go on to get their BA degree here at Seattle Central, which Melissa will talk about, and then go on to get a master's in social work or work in policy, get their master's in mental health services of some sort or another. And most of our students go on to work in nonprofit agencies. Next slide, please.
I think that's it for you.
That's it? No, that's fine. And I did put in the chat how you can contact me, as well as our website, and I will put our list of courses in there also. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And I will, if I hear from anybody here as well, I'll pass them right along to you, Peggy. So thanks for
Thank you.
that information.
Thanks, Nick. Thanks
Moving
for coming,
over,
everyone.
Yeah, thank you. Moving over to Melissa, Applied Behavioral Science.
Hi, so I'm Melissa Martinez. I'm the manager for the bachelor's degree in applied behavioral science. And you can go to the next slide. So I'll talk a little bit more I'll also just kind of preface it with is a kind of continuing on for many of our students that Peggy just spoke about the Social and Human Services program. So this Bachelor of Applied Science is the SHS program does feed into this bachelor's degree. It is an accredited bachelor's degree. I get that question a lot. Is it a equivalent to a bachelor's degree that you would get at a traditional college, university? And absolutely is. We're accredited through the same accrediting body, which also provides you with, because it is accredited, it does provide students with a pathway to go on and get a master's degree if that's what they'd like to do. It is a full-time 6-quarter program. We part-time 7 quarters or more. And then it also is fully virtual. So all of our classes are on Zoom 1 day a week, and it's also an evening program. So all of our courses are from 6 to 8:30 p.m. So it works really well for students who are working during the day. It's designed around working adults. Many of our students, like I mentioned, are coming from the Social and Human Services Associate's degree. So many of them are already working in the field when they're coming into our bachelor's program. We have a once-a-year start, and that's only in the fall. We operate in a cohort model, so we admit up to 30 students per cohort, which means that all of the students who start in the same quarter will go through and take the exact same courses together, and it builds a learning community. And so our prerequisites, like I mentioned, it is for students who have a completed associate's degree in social and human services, a related field, but also it is also students with just a general AA degree are eligible for our program as long as you have 30 credits of social science courses. That could include classes in psychology, sociology, anthropology, political science, etc. So if you do have those, you are welcome to contact me and I can take a look to see if you meet the eligibility requirements. And we are located at Seattle Central College only. Next slide. So this program is designed for people that want to continue to work in human services. It does provide you with the qualifications to work in positions of more responsibility, like supervisors, directors, managers in the field of human services. It provides flexible class format, like I mentioned. We have many students that don't necessarily live in Seattle, but are still able to access our program because it is completely virtual and an evening program. And I mentioned about the cohort, and just like in the SHS program, we have accomplished faculty who work in the field. Many of them also have doctorate degrees. And so I did also just kind of want to touch on what Peggy mentioned about the guaranteed admissions pathway program. We call it GAP. That is designed for students that are in the social and human services program that are interested in this bachelor's degree. So as long as students meet a 2.5 GPA and you complete that associate's degree, then you have automatic guaranteed admissions to the bachelor's program in applied behavioral science at Seattle Central, and you don't have to compete for admissions. So that's a really good, we've had that for a couple of years, and we have several students that have already gone through that guaranteed admissions process. Next slide. And also very similar to SHS, we have a practical training through the advanced field placement. So our students are required to do 2 quarters of advanced field placements. They are placed in agencies, organizations of their choice based on where they ideally would like to work and learn skills. And many of our students do and with job offers and job opportunities from those experiences, because they're not only completing the degree, but they also have experience on their resumes to be able to apply for these jobs. So I just mentioned many of our students are working in public policy, social services, mental health, youth empowerment, youth or prevention programs, community development, housing. It varies. This is so broad. And then just to reiterate, many of our students also do go on to get master's degrees in state, out of state, in various fields, such as, I would say that the top program that our students are going into is the Masters of Social Work program, but many of our students go on to do mental health counseling, nonprofit leadership, public administration, clinical counseling programs. It varies what many of our students are going out into the community and working these various fields. So if you want more information, I will also put my contact information in the chat. Thank you.
Thank you, Melissa, for all that information. So helpful. I'm gonna throw it over to Natasha for early childhood education.
Hi, everyone. I'm Natasha Gray. I'm with the ECE program at North Seattle College and also an alumni of the program as well. Next slide, please. So if you are looking to work with our youngest learners from birth to age 5, this program is for you. We do have an Associates of Applied Science. So everything you're learning in your associate's program, you will apply it to your practice. You can finish the associate's degree in 6 quarters for full-time, part-time definitely between 11 to 12 quarters. Our program is not in person. We do have a high demand for our courses. And because of this, you would see our courses are either virtual on Zoom or online on Canvas. So most of our courses are either beginning at 6:30 in the evenings or on the weekends. You can start at any time, so any quarter, fall, winter, spring, and summer, and our class sizes are small, so it's within 15 to 25 students. And then we also highly encourage students to be at least working or volunteering in a childcare program. That way you can take what you're learning from our courses and apply it into your practice. And again, we are located in North Seattle College. Next slide, please. So some highlights, we will provide you valuable training and insights to our child development, about child development and family support. Our curriculum is rooted in anti-bias education, current child development research, and family-centered practice. We also recognize and address systemic racism and how it impacts children and families. And we are applied, again, which means that students reflect on their practice and take what they're learning, all these strategies, and implement it into their teaching in the classroom. We also follow the National Association of Education of Young Children, known as NIAC or NAEYC, their standards, and stay up to date with current research trends and practice. So whether you're in the field of new to the field of early childhood education, or maybe you have some sort of experience, the early education program at North, will definitely provide you valuable training and insight into child development and family support. We also have stackable certificates. So we have the ECE initial certificate, short certificate, and state certificate. And all of these certificates are part of the associates program. So as you're earning your associate's degree, you're earning certificates as well. And this will allow you to work in early learning programs in the state of Washington. Along with that, we do have a bachelor's degree program that you can transfer your associate's degree and go into our bachelor's in early childhood education. And we see that a lot of our students also transition into master's of education program after the bachelor's level. Next slide, please. Okay, so for the early education program, many of our graduates, they do qualify to teach in a preschool. They become a preschool teacher, program supervisor, Senate director, Head Start, or even childcare organizations and private preschools. Some also consider to be in philanthropy. They are also early education coaches, family support specialists, and sometimes they even work in the hospital working with families to connect with children. And they're also curriculum specialists in the early education field. And a lot of our program alumni, they work in organizations such as Head Start, Bright Horizons, El Centro de la Raza, and many others at USC. Childcare and early learning is definitely needed in our community, and we see a huge influx of a lot of teachers wanting to major in early education so they can support our youngest learners. Thank you.
Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We just did a speed run through all these programs. There's so much more available, right? There are more programs, but not only are there more programs, the programs that you heard about tonight, there's more information that you probably need to know about that program if you want to do it. So here's what I'm going to ask. Could one of my colleagues drop this link in the chat, perhaps? I'm not sure. I'm trying to run a few different things right here, but if somebody can throw that in there, then please, please, please go fill this out, because this is how I can get in touch with you, and I can send you a link to my calendar, and we can have, like a 5, 10, 15 minute just conversation, one-to-one, and I can help you figure out who to talk to. If you don't know who to talk to, I can connect you with the right person. If you didn't get the contact information of those that presented today, take a look through the chat, but also I can send that to you as well. Or if you're not sure what you want to do, that's when I'm going to jump in and we're just going to have a discussion, because I love talking to students about what they want to do in their future. College was a pivotal time for me, and I'm sure it will be for you as well. And then here, open houses, guys, come in person. I know we all just went through COVID. It's easier to stay on Zoom. But taking that step, that first step and meeting the people that you're going to be going to class with, it's huge. You can't substitute that. So really think about that. Health and education folks, that health and education center is on Monday. The rest of you, take a look at where your programs are located. Go stop by. There'll be advisors, there'll be admissions, there'll be financial aid. I'll be there somewhere at one of the schools, so maybe we'll run into each other. And I'd love it if you'd introduce yourself. And then beyond that, keep exploring, right? If these programs weren't for you, we've got 130 programs, right? And funding for most of them. So come talk to us, figure out what you want to do, and we're here to help you. My team, do we have time for questions?
Yes, let's do it. We'll spend a couple minutes there.
Yeah.